In America, we have taught over 200,000 since 1984. The college students is a good thing because I was in college and received 45 credits for writing a proposal by working with the Department of Health and ascertaining a grant for $2 million for emergency medical service, long before your time, Jade. It was 1978. So with that, I learned the technique of writing proposal. Let me get the fear out of you, number one. I believe in KISS. Keep it simple, Saint. You're making this thing too difficult. Keep it simple. A gentleman, per se, what they did, I was writing the grant for what we call emergency medical services. I thought I was so astute like Jay and others who just finished in college or young and getting started. And you want to write and you want to be so perfect and this and that. And it's not all about that. It is KISS. Keep it simple, saints. Don't make that thing so difficult. So with that in mind, he showed me how to add and delete, add and delete, add and delete. And within 2 hours, it was completed. And in the end, we received $2.3 million. It doesn't take all day to build anything. The next point that you need to be aware of, I worked with Georgia Department of Industry and Trade. I'm formerly of the Governor's Office of Planning and Budget Management Review, and I set up Georgia State Centers for Health Statistics. I'm giving you the confidence. I had no knowledge, fresh out of college, but I used that same technique. They said it couldn't be done. I went around and I looked around. First, make observation. Went to Minnesota and then went to Florida. Got to Florida, picked up the best part of a state center and went to Minnesota, the best part. Nothing is new. You just found out today. Everything is old. So don't try to be so ingenious. I put the two together and they thought I was a genius. All I did was utilize data that was already available. So we're going to teach you that as well. Instead of trying to be so creative, I'm starting from scratch and I'm going to make this pie. And the pie is already made, okay? Just look at the pie and you're going to add and delete. So keep that in the back of your mind as you're being taught. Let's go over some of these things here where you can be familiar. We stated that there's no such thing as what? Grant writing. It is what? Proposal writing. You're writing a what? Proposal. Now, with that proposal, later on we're going to talk about what goes into that proposal. But today we want to make sure you have some general definition. If you want to write this down. First, you need to have a corporation. A corporation. Preferably a nonprofit corporation that you have to go through a process to ascertain a 501c3 code. Keep that in the back of your mind, 501c3 code. That is given by the Internal Revenue Services. Step one in obtaining that 501c3, which make you eligible, you can be the most brilliant person in the world, but if you do not have the 501c3, you're not eligible for most grants. Now, with that in mind, you have to reserve that name with your state. Well, what is a corporation? All of this will be written later on, but I just want to introduce you first. A corporation is a legal entity, just like you are a legal entity. It is incorporated in this state like you were born in whatever state you was born in. And you receive a birth certificate, and the corporation receive a certificate of incorporation. That's why, for the most part, you find INC at the end, meaning that you are what? Incorporated. Now, what is the step to ascertain the letter of determination? Well, we'll take Georgia, or we use that of Alabama, since the two states, but they're different. You have to understand the law of each state. We have incorporated in all 50 states, have clients all over the world, and I mean from the big boys to the small ones. So again, we work with all. First step, you have to reserve the name. Because why? A corporation is a legal entity or artificial person. This is a real leg, and that is an artificial leg, but both of them are legs. So it's an artificial, but you speak for that artificial leg, called the board of what? Directors. Now, the corporation itself, no one else in that state can ever have your name. It can sue just like you can. It can borrow just like you can. It can file bankruptcy just like you can and won't even touch you. That's why you incorporate, to separate yourself from that company. So you always, starting any business, profit or non-profit, you need to be what? Incorporated. Well, how about the LLC? Well, the LLC is a profit corporation. We're not talking about that today. It has members. All of the taxes flows over to the members. Well, how about the S corporation? We're not talking about the S corporation. They all have the same function. They are legal entities, and they are operating to carry out the mission, which they cannot be sued, indicted. Those are the board of directors or the members or the shareholders. Let's say the S corporation. That's a profit corporation. That profit corporation has shareholders. All the taxes transferred over to the what? Shareholders. The third one is a C corporation. These are profit. I am not talking about that. The C corporation is a profit, and it transfers funds over to what? Nowhere. It stays with the corporation. You pay taxes there, and the individual pay taxes. So again, there are three again. You got LLC, S corporation, and a C corporation. Do not go D and B, doing business as. All the liability is on you. You go incorporate to take liabilities off of you. Now let's go over to the nonprofit. That's what we're talking about. You have a religious benefit corporation, such as your ministry, your church. It is a legal entity, and once you incorporate it, now it becomes a real person, but this state says you don't even have to incorporate anymore because you're under God. You have nothing to do, the state has nothing to do with you. So again, you want to incorporate, if you have your ministry, Creflo Dollar Ministry, Kenny Copeland Ministry, you have that of Jake's ministry. There's a reason for that madness, because it's religious and the government cannot interfere with you. That's the reason why. Let's go to the last one. Mutual benefit. It's just like a C corporation, but it's called nonprofit. But it's not a it's a nonprofit, but it's taxable. So, well, what are we talking about, and what is necessary when you start writing grants for yourself or others? You need a public charity or public benefit. All the rest, forget them. A public charity. A public charity means just this. It has approximately 29 different codes. One is called a 501c3. Those are codes. You got 501c1 through 501c29 and a few others. But most important to you, all you need to know is 501c3. So when you go to bed tonight, say 501c3. That's all you need to know. So now we're getting started. You go to a granting agency and you ask, and they ask you for the 501c3. It is not your EIN number. Write this down, FIN number, FEIN, Federal Employer Identification Number. You get that for your corporation, but think of this, it's only a Social Security number for that corporation. Like Harold Brown Incorporated, they have a what? EIN number, or a Federal Employee Identification that's given to you by the Internal Revenue Service. To become a legal entity, you must incorporate. When you incorporate, you go through the Secretary of State, but in Alabama, if you're in Montgomery, you go through the probate judge, and we have probate judges in this state. And here you pay $55 and you pay $100 to the Secretary of State, two separate checks, but you take it to the probate. In Georgia, we go straight to the Secretary of State at the floppy floored building, Twin Towers, and first floor, and you go in there and you can walk in and get expeditious treatment. But you must reserve the name. Both states, you must reserve the name. This state charge you $28. You cannot incorporate in this state. Sometimes they let you get away with it in Georgia without getting the reservation of name. Because you can walk in and fill it out on the spot, put your name, address, contact person you're done with, okay? Then they do a search to make sure no one else has that what? Name. So now you know why you do what we say first, reserve the name. Then you're going to get an EIN number, so why reserve the name, and why get an EIN number if it's not reserved and you can't use it? So first you always what? Reserve it. The last point of it, the Public Benefit Corporation. That is the 501c3. Just write that down. You need to keep that in the back of your mind at all times. And what you call that is a letter, write this word down, letter of determination. A letter of determination. See, IRS determine you to be tax exempt. That means you're tax exempt from federal income taxes. Everybody got that? Because of that, it's a domino effect. It's for the state, the city, and guess what? Business license as well. There in Peachtree City, the ones in Georgia understand that's a very expensive place, right? This is the most livable place in the state of Georgia and number 2 in the United States of America. So it happened, God bless me, that's where I was staying before my wife ran off with Jody. All right, but moving right along. All right, don't cry. So anyway, with that in mind, it was getting too serious. So with that in mind, our medical practice at the time, she was a rheumatology and internal medicine doctor, and I was the CEO. But the most important thing is that what we did, we got business license, which would have called $50,000, but because we're 501c3 as a medical practice, bringing in millions of dollars, you pay nothing because it's tax exempt. Fill out the form, but you don't pay anything. So your federal taxes on that corporation may be $500,000 or $1 million. You pay nothing because you're tax exempt. So what do? You get that money, employ more nurses, more MAs, more lab people, so I can employ people and put them back to work. Medical practice should be set up as nonprofit because we cannot Medicaid. You may get money and you may not. They say we'll pay you when the money is available. And when the reimbursement is so low, and we may charge you $500 and I may get $150 back. You got to have a person that is good with the coding and understand those things. And you have to have many procedures to make a medical practice. Doctors are not rich unless they have procedures and they go there and do operations and take things out they don't need to take out. Okay, that's where you make money. Coming out seeing you making that little $35, that don't cover the malpractice insurance or the $50. And you think you're paying something. The insurance company is the one getting over like a fat cat. The insurance company may and may not pay us. If it's filed improperly, you don't get paid. And if you keep it out long enough, I learned we lost $200,000. There's nothing you can do about it. And then the pharmaceutical company come back and sue you because the insurance company would not accept the claim. So you have to pay the bill. Anyway, moving forward. That's why you set up the nonprofit. Then you go after some grants and you can pay the bill. We have a lot of nursing people and health science folks just showing you one or two things the way to do it. Set it up your practice, whatever it may be in the medical field or whatever it may be as nonprofit. So we're going to talk about going after grants where pharmaceutical company, the richest groups out there, and they have non-restrictive grants. You'll learn that. Right now, non-restricted and restricted. Non-restricted mean that there is no restriction. Write your grant and you spend it as you desire on your program for salary, for equipment, for supplies, for a new RV, for a new car for your practice or whatever, because you need it for transportation, for cell phones, for whatever you need it for. They're called unrestricted grants. Then you have restricted grants, which is based on a line item. This is an overview first. Restrictive means that I tell you to spend it for salary $50,000. You better spend it for $50,000, or it's misappropriation of fiduciary funds. You must do what they tell you to do. It's not IRS, it's the granting agency. IRS is pretty much out of the picture after you receive the letter of determination. It is who give you the money is the one that you need to be aware of. So they give you a grant for $50,000 from Coca-Cola. They may do an audit or they may ask for a monthly report or an annual report. You must provide that data. Pharmaceutical company never ask for anything. They give you the money and they move on. They can give it to health science or to your grant, maybe for child care, youth at high risk, whatever it may be, called community grants. The biggest pool out there, but nobody ever knock on those doors. That's the way I would go. Go where people don't go. Everybody, I'm going after some government grants. Write this down. Only 15 to 10%, 10 to 15% of all grants come from the government. Keep in mind, the government only has approximately $3 trillion. Some people in the world got $3 trillion inside it and so forth, more than what the government bring in, and bring it in through taxes. But it has a deficit over $20 trillion. Let's give another word that you need to have. Profit and loss, that is for profit corporation. My nonprofit can't make any money. Erroneous. You call it surplus and deficit. Deficit means what? Profit. And surplus mean what? Profit. And deficit mean what? Loss. So my corporation is operating with a loss of $2 trillion. That is a loss or a deficit. In the United States, we call them what? Surplus and deficit. In government, because they are all nonprofit organizations. The military, the health department, all these things, the university, colleges that we look at, 85% of everything out there is nonprofit. Your schools, everything is nonprofit. So with that, let's learn the terminology. Before I hit these last few points up there, I want to go through these beginning points that profit and loss. You can't make a profit with a nonprofit erroneously. You make more money with the nonprofit than a profit organization. Your salary is greater with the nonprofit than the profit organization. Sabo, or whatever the guy named with Alabama, he make over $40 million working with the nonprofit called the University of Alabama. Alabama State is a nonprofit. Auburn is a nonprofit. The University of Georgia is nonprofit. Emory University is nonprofit. Everything you look around University of Georgia, nonprofit. Piedmont Hospital in Atlanta is nonprofit. Grady Hospital is nonprofit. Well, something must be right about those nonprofit. I don't want nothing to do with that's why you're behind. Now I'll say this to the boys from Georgia. All this got started in Georgia. I'm heading up Fulton County, Atlanta Office of Economic Development, bringing in billions of dollars, working in that area, working with your industrial parks and all that. The head of that. And I have a department that we call CDBG. You come in there with your business plan and I can all smart with you. Nice, who don't normally won't dress like this. Y'all here, that's why we dressed up a little bit, okay? So anyway, you have your suit and your tie. You got to be real too. So you have your suit and tie and all that stuff on, and we just shining shoes. I just get my shoes shined 3 times a day because people are looking at you. You got to be the banker image. So with that, we brought these companies in, but African Americans were not getting anything. It was a joke. We knew good and well you would not qualify. We make you go through all these loops because we're getting paid anyway. It disturbed me. You come in there and you want 1.2 million, you're all happy, you did all this business plan, paid all these people to do all this stuff, and you walk in there, you ain't getting nothing. We know that. We know that SBA required that you put up 10%, so you must have $120,000. We know good and well you don't have it. And they need to be up front. But they need you for numbers where they get more money for their appropriation. So with that, I want to make sure that's why I'm trying to steer you away from loans, but put you back to what? Grants. Grants is what, ladies and gentlemen? Free money. I gave you some general definition. What is a corporation? It is an artificial person that is a legal entity that is authorized to transact business in that state. There are 2 types of corporation. One is domestic. That means in that state. Foreign means that you're working in more than one state. Domestic and foreign. Write that down. Domestic is what we are setting you up to be. If you want to be a foreign corporation, I would tell you no, not yet. If you must do it, go to each state and incorporate separately. Don't be a foreign corporation. It's too expensive. California back then was $32 for domestic, $800 for foreign. But you get to get one person from that state and set up what we call a domestic corporation. Our people perish because of lack of what? Knowledge is no more than what? Information. But in all that getting, gain what? Understanding. Lastly, on this subject area, grants are free money that comes from all the different entities. It comes from the federal government. It comes from the state. What are some of the federal government? It is HUD. Somebody else?
It's FHA.
FHA. And what are some others? HHS. You need to know the acronyms and you need to know the definition. We're going to teach you that as well. You need to know what EMS, Emergency Medical Services. You need to know what FEMA. Someone here? What is FEMA? You need to know these things because you can receive appropriation to help your people in your community when you have a natural disaster. You're knocking on the door of Salvation Army and United Way. You need to understand they have billions of dollars and you can have the same dollars, but you must apply yourself and write some proposal to ascertain some grants. When a tornado come through, you need to be prepared where you can help out too and receive some of those billions of dollars that come back to that community. Because United Way, they're around there ringing those bells. You better ring your own bell and reserve and take over your own community. They're there today and gone tomorrow. So please keep that in mind. You can ring your own bell and revitalize your own community, but you need that legal entity called a what? 501c3. So tonight there's going to be not sheep. It's going to be what? 501c3 running across your head. You need to have that. I don't care if you're in athletics, job training, job placement. I don't care what it is. You need the 501c3 or they'll tell you you're not eligible. Federal government. We're going to go over that with health, the Department of Health, OMB, the Office Management and Budget, the old terminology, JTPA. We need to understand what these things, HUD, you got to know what's inside of that, the SRO. You need to know about the $1 home lease with the option to purchase. You need to know about permanent housing. You need to know about temporary housing. You need to know all these different things. So if you're going to apply for things, our people, parents, cause like a what? Knowledge. We need to get the information. So that's what we will be doing. Teaching you how to ascertain that information, where to go in order to ascertain the financial rewards that you need to run your program. Nonprofit must be pretty good if Obama just finished up getting ready to get real up and my brother's keeper in Chicago. He said, well, I looked at what's going on over there with the Clinton. Hey, they got $1 billion. I better go and get that too and make it work for me. And Trump said, well, let me try something out. I use my 501c3 card. I don't pay no taxes. Now, let me come on back now in my real estate. Let me come on back and become president of the largest corporation in the world that is a nonprofit called the United States of America. He said, I'm the president of that. I left my private organization. I'm coming over here and I'll be president of the largest, most powerful organization. And guess what? I'm going to live in public housing, the White House. Don't you take care of it? He said, I'm going to have limousine service. You can do the same thing. You're a nonprofit. The governor does that. He has a plane, security, everything. Get big enough, you're going to need it. United Way, their president make over $1.3 million a year. My wife, after I worked with her for 1 year, she made over $1.4 million. It's based on your expertise, and you have to go after these different RFPs. Write this down. RFP, RFQ, and RFA. RFP means request for proposal. Everything request for. Request for. RFP means request for proposal. RFA means request for application. And RFQ, request for qualification. They all mean an application. Fancy word. What did I say to some of you? You can say the sun doesn't shine on the same dog back end all the time. Or you can say the solar disk does not shine on the identical canines posterior for an indefinite period of time. You said the same thing. So don't get caught up in words. Because the solar disk is what? The sun. The canine is what? The dog. Your posterior is what? You're behind. Just use a few nice words. People think you're intellectual. So we understand that one. We stated that the federal government has all kinds of grants. And we're going to go over that. And you need to understand. We got the Federal Registry and many others that you're going to learn more about. The next thing, the state has dollars. I worked in the governor's office of planning and budget. We're the one, the bad boys, they call it CIA. We break you and make you. So with that, I set up the state center, got it approved, and plus appropriated there in the state of Georgia under Governor Busby. He said it can be done. We believe in KISS, as I stated before. KISS, keep it simple, saints. Don't make it so complicated. The state, you have DHR, Department of Human Resources. Know what it means. They have all kinds of grants there. You need to understand public health, dealing with substance abuse, mental health, mental retardation, and substance abuse. All kinds of grants there. Well, there's some department. Department means something. You need to find out what's in there. You have that VR, vocational rehabilitation. DOL, the Department of Labor. That's why you're going to learn the acronyms. Because you need to know when they start talking that language, you say, I know what you're talking about. One I want you to write down that's very germane to all of you is CDBG. CDBG. Community Development Block Grant. How many of you have a cell phone with you today? Raise your hand. At this time, you can turn it on, okay? I want you to go to Church on the Road so you can follow along with me at your desk. How you like that? All right? Church on the Road. Church on the Road. Church on the Road. Church on the Road.
What's CDBG?
CDBG is Community Development Block Grants. You can get grants from anywhere and everywhere. Community Development Block Grant. Meaning you get it for child care, youth at high risk, senior citizen. Thunderbolt Patterson, some of you may know him, the old wrestler who's a good friend. Creflo sent him over to me. And he had some boys and girls home and received thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars just for that, all for Cleveland Avenue. And he did quite well. And I got him the surplus property, many more, getting trucks, vans, and all this good stuff. And even with SCLC, he went down and decorated the whole place with the surplus property through his 501c3. And SCLC been one for years. No, that's not true, because one in Alabama called me and I had to set up their 501c3 about 7 years ago. But you have to have the 501c3. They could not even get anything because they didn't know. You're sometimes so busy marching, you don't see the academic and the things to do to make it work and to change ways. Sometimes you have to do it technically and many other ways to get things effective. Marching is great, but you need all of it. Got it? Everybody on that Church on the Road, go to grant writing. Look at that. Look at grant writing. Let's make sure everybody's on the same page. He asked me not to move. I'm so used to moving, so I'm going to have to stand still for a moment. Everyone sees that? Everybody's with me? Go to the grant page. You'll be on the same slide that I'm on. Technology. If you don't have a phone, I have one. You can use mine, I guess. If not, look on the person next to you. Raise your hand if you're not there yet. Okay?
Which one is it? I mean, there's. Oh.
We're starting at the very beginning. You probably see the same slide, same thing there. You see 1 through 5 says grant writing. Look at the icons. Okay, I'm gonna get someone else. I'm gonna step out from the camera for a moment because it's gonna use this where y'all can have this as a refresher course too. All right. So again, just hold up your phone and I'll just look at it and I can tell you right or wrong. Okay, flip it up a little bit more. Let me use your phone and I'll just show you. Okay. This is the first page of Church on the Road. You're gonna go up at the top. You see these little icons. What you do? Hit this thing on the side. Yeah. It says in here. Church on the Road, Breast Trauma, Ministry of Economic Development, and Certified Proposal Writing. Everybody see that? And just go in there and just click it here, ma'am. You maybe want to go around and show them. Click here, and we are on the same page. You flip it up, and we're on the same page, okay? Let me see yours, if you don't mind. This thing's so fancy, okay? Church on the Road, the first one, we hit the Church on the Road. And once we go into this icon, so we're on the first page, we're going to hit that and go to the different things that are within. You will see grant and 501c3. Everyone has that? Step 1, step 2, step 2. If you have it, share with the other person, and we call this collaboration, and make sure that they know how. Everybody's on the same page? You have it, sir? Ma'am? But if you can't, it's up on the board, and you always can go back and look at it, all right? All right, let me move you on up a little bit further because we're going to try to get back on time. The state government, there are Department of Energy, there are what we call the Governor Discretionary Fund. I'm giving you a gunshot approach. We're going to get into it more in depth. It's called more orientation to you. There are all kinds of grants. The governor has grants in discretionary funds. The governor has the community affairs. In this state, ADACA. In Georgia, community affairs. Same old thing, called a different name. You have every agency, you want to find out what they have, and you ask them. Later on, I'm going to show you how to go through that process. Now, with that in mind, you have the regional. They have regional type grants. And most importantly, you have the county grants. Go to the county commissioner, get to know them, and each one of you get to know the county commissioner in your area. They have funds to give you. The county commissioner has money cannot be allocated to you. So when I finish this course with you, go to these people that I asked you to go to, get to know the county commissioner in your district. And with that, they will help you introduce your thoughts, it's in their best interest, to the full body. So you may end up with 200,000, a $500,000, depending. Remember this, it's not what you know, it's not who you know, but who knows you. So you must get up and get yourself visible. With that, we have the city. The city has many grants. Here in Alabama, we have two in particular. One called the rental grants. You don't need a 501c3. You can just have a good idea and get some funding. I know we did it. Then you have another one that called the contingency grant. Well, we just got 10,000 on that. But what the word said, how you become a millionaire? You keep multiplying what you got. You keep multiplying. 1,000 times 1,000 is 1,000,000, right? Get 1,000 people, get $1,000. That the word of God is right. Multiply your what? Your talents. So if you get 1,000 from the bank, get 1,000 from Walmart, 1,000 here, that's the way you do it. Don't try to be greedy. They're in the Atlanta area. Go for Waffle House. They have 20, 30, 40, $50,000 to give to you, but nobody's knocking on their door. We're going to talk about that later on too. That is the city. The city has the same type of things that the state, the federal, and the county has. They all have the same types of grants. Let's go, and you can get it from all of them. More you get, more finance you have. Next thing is foundation. That's going to be one of your assignments. The Ford Foundation, the Cadillac Foundation, the Coke Foundation, everybody got a foundation. The banks got so many foundations in there, they won't give you a loan, but they'll give you a grant through a foundation. Won't get a loan, but you can get a grant. That's weird, isn't it? They won't, you can give you, they're giving you the money because in Community Reinvestment Act, they got to give it to you. Individuals. Somebody may want to walk up like Holyfield, who gave Creflo Dollar, what, $1 million? To make sure you file it properly. Individual give it to you because they can do what? He had it in his ministry so he can what? Write it off. They don't love you. People give you money because they can write them off. Mm-hmm. And they're going to get it back. Oh, Mr. Buffett gave away 50%. He said when he died, he's going to give away 85%. He's going to pay taxes on, so just well give it away where you can get the money back. You give out $30,000 in gifts and so forth, and you can file, at least our CPA back then said we get $15,000 back one year and $15,000 back the next year. You go to church, pay your tithes and offerings. Why these big entertainers give so much money? Because they're going to get it back. I just have one of the biggest agents in the United States just sign up. Matter of fact, this morning he put the money in checking account today. So I talked to him this morning. He's with the draft at this time. They're in Atlanta. Big boy. And he want all the athletes to set it up because I agree with him. They're getting fined for being late, fined for this and fined for that. Get that $30,000 fine or that $50,000 or $100,000 fine and put it in your own organization. You have to give it to a nonprofit. Instead of giving it to United Way, give it to your nonprofit. So all of them need what? Nonprofit. Anyone with money need a nonprofit. Smart people always have nonprofit. Obama. They all have it. Oprah Winfrey, Michael Jordan. Everyone has a nonprofit. If it's good enough for them, it must be good to be true. Because they would not be doing that. And they have the best minds in the world working on it. So I want to make sure that you all understand that. All right. Corporation. Every corporation, you should never be broke. All you have to do is get a little energy and get out there and go to work. And I'm going to teach you one thing up front for the one that did not hear this. You always, what I tell you, keep the body the same and change the head. And I use this little part that you all would remember. And I know Jay probably was tired of hearing me saying this, but the lady, husband had died and had old green suit on. The undertaker looked at her, and the lady said, take that old green suit off my husband. So he came back 10 minutes later, and he had a nice blue suit on, and she said he sure do look nice. And the undertaker went out, and he stayed behind, and he came back. He said, look, how did you change suits so quickly? He said, who changed suits? I changed heads. So anyway, when you write a grant, you change the heading and keep the body what? The same. All right, moving along. So the next thing, we want to make sure that you understand these parts here. That there are real money out there, but it's going to be left up to you. And I want you to look at the person next to you, and I always do this. Say, I have a vision.
I have a vision.
Say it like you mean it. I have a vision. And I want you to come and go with me.
Go with me.
But if you don't want to go with
If
me,
you don't want to go with me,
please,
leave.
please,
Leave.
do not hinder me.
Don't hinder me. Don't hinder me.
And always remember this. If you're looking for a hero,
If you're looking for a hero,
now smile and do that. Please,
please
don't look at me.
don't look at me.
Just pick up a mirror
Just pick up a mirror
and look at yourself.
and look at yourself.
See, God made all of you a hero. Just use it. Quit worrying about what somebody else is doing. Focus on what you're doing.
Yeah.
The devil come to kill, steal, and destroy. And the Lord going to give us more life abundantly. So concentrate on what God's going to do for you. He said he wants you to prosper and be in good health as your soul prosper. He said money answer all things according to Ecclesiastes 10:19. He said in that Deuteronomy that, what did it says? It says that God's going to give you the power to get wealth. So if you believe that, now get up and do something about it. Everybody got that? Change your way of thinking. Now look at him again. I'm going to give you one more. Say, think right.
Think right.
Now look at him like you believe. Say, think right.
Think right.
Now do like this. Say, pray right.
Pray right.
And then it say, if you pray right, live right.
Live right.
Now do right,
Do right.
and you'll be right.
And you'll be right.
First, change your way of thinking. If you think you are poor, ladies and gentlemen, you will stay poor. If you think you're rich, you will be rich if you get up and do the what? Works. Faith without works is dead. Inspiration without information is dead, just like faith without works is dead. I can talk to you till I'm blue, green in the face. It means absolutely nothing if you don't receive it. So I'm going to give you the right way of doing it. If you are willing to do it, no one can lead you to the promised land, Israelites, unless you change your way of thinking. And if you change your way of thinking and let Joshua give you the right orders and move on it, and those walls will start what? Tumbling down, and you start having prosperity.
Jesus.
That prosperity is those walls coming down that is around you now. And who putting them up? You are. Once you start putting up the walls, then things will start coming your way. Quit complaining. That complaining take up all your energy. Don't tell me what I don't know. Tell me what don't tell me what I don't know. Tell me what I need to know. I may got that wrong, but still yet you know what I meant. So most importantly, change your way of thinking. You can conquer the world. What you got to lose? And I'm going to give you this little story, and it'll be real short. Then we're going to go back here because you got to be motivated mentally to do this kind of thing. And if you think that you can't make it, you won't. You got that? If you tell me I can't do it, you will not do it. I'll tell you that now. If you find a reason why you can't do it, you won't. If you don't move on it, you're going to be just like Matthew 25:25. One talent. They ain't going to do nothing but lose it. So when I tell you what you need to do, just try. That old saying, you may like it. So with that in mind, some of the terminology and phraseology, definition, where grants are found, we went through that aspect of it just to orientate you. We asked you to go back to the Church on the Road and look at that and stay on top of that because we're going to keep on educating you to take you to a higher level. Now we're going to get ready to give you an assignment. All right? You ready? Let's go to the next page. And what did I tell you in the beginning? I'm going to keep it what? Simple. When I finish, you're going to be one of the best grant writers in the United States, and I'll put you up against anyone. And if you go through this process the way I asked you to go through it, you'll get funded during the process. Did you hear that? Not at the end, but you'll get it funded while you're going through it. But it's your mindset. You have to change your way of thinking. You go in there with confidence, but you have to have some language to back it up. And you got to be like Paul when you're with these granting agency. You got to be like the granting agency. You got to talk the language. You cannot do like I used to say, finna go now, y'all here going uptown. You can't do that. You have to come in and like the ladies around here told me, put a tie and a shirt on. I used to do that, but you get to a certain point, you say, I don't have to do this no more. But again, we need to consider this. We need to always have an image. When you go in there, look your best, act your best, and put on your A plan. And if you don't, get somebody that has an A plan and let them go with you. So don't be afraid to let somebody talk for you. Let them talk for you, Moses. Let them talk. And I guarantee you, you will succeed. And we're going to be here for you for the long haul. And once you see this facility all the way through, this is an example for you for what you can do. Each one of you would like to have this as like a home base for you. We're going to have a meeting once a month here. People from all over the country will come here. So you're always going to get fed if you want to be fed. Now, assignment. Let me break you down a little bit. The four of you, would you just flip around together? All right? Four of you, would you flip around together? I'm going to divide you up a little bit. Ma'am, you in the, I was going to get you all, if you would, let's take up the items that you have. Let's go back there on the big table with your daughter, okay? And could you do that too? I'm going to put you in the group. Matter of fact, I'm going to put you in this group here, okay? Behind. Okay?
Just turn around.
You betcha. Just turn around. We're going to allow you to be in the group with this group here, please. All right? And then on this side here, we got 1, 2, 3. Are you two in? If you do, you can. All right, you got 3. Well, that's not working out good. All right, you're a smart lady. Let me let you sit over there with them, okay? Let you sit over there. Sorry, y'all had to lose it. Okay? You had to lose it. Now, the first thing I want you to do, we're going to do a collaboration. Well, they're from Georgia and I'm from Alabama. I don't care. You need to work with people all over, okay? Jesus told us to work with everybody. He said, go to all nations. So you need to learn that. It's a small example. At this time, I'd like for you to identify who's going to be your leader. I'm going to call y'all captains because you're going to learn how to work together. If you can't work together, don't expect to go anywhere. So with that, the 5 over here, you're going to be Group A. Mr. Jones, if you keep up with this for me, this will be Group A. And Bishop, if you would, just tell them if they would. I had asked them to give me A, B, and C. Group A, Group B, and Group C. Everybody got that? Group A, Group B, and Group C. At this time, find your captain, who's going to be the leader of your group. You can talk for about 5 minutes. That's all we're going to give you. And find out who's the captain. Get your name, get your phone number, get your address, because I'm going to hold you responsible, captain. Everything, I will talk to you, captain, but I will not talk to anyone else in your group. So anyone in your group must talk to you, and if at the end of the course, if you end up failing this thing, it's because of your captain, not you. So you always want to get a good leader. So with that, take the time, and let's get your good captain at this time, whoever that captain may be. You have 5 minutes, and everything's based on time around here. This is Group B. Once you finish, ladies and gentlemen, Group A, B, and C. Write Group A. Put all your board members or who all you have and give it to Mr. Jones. Group B, do likewise. Group C, likewise. So Mr. Jones, you don't have to worry about writing it up. Okay. They will bring it to you. You have 5 minutes. All right, may I have your attention again? With that, I guess you pull it together, and all that are participating, we have 2 things we'd like to do. Bishop will get the information from you. Excuse me, I'm sorry. You have Marcos will get the information from you, and because this trainee class, they need to go ahead and get your certificate ready for the 2-hour class. You got much more to count, don't worry. So please pass that list in. Make sure your name is spelled correctly, and make sure it's legible that we can understand it. And they'll make some copies and bring it back to you as well and give a copy to Mr. Jones. So at this time, Group A, Group B, Group C, the young man there, would you bring him, would you pick it up from all 3 tables? Please do so at this time, where we can get started again. We're going to make copies of this. Marco, when you go back to Miss Maddox, make copies where we can give it back to the team captain. Group C, who is your team captain? Raise your hand. So I have an idea who you are. Got the military guy. Okay? Group B, who is your captain? I got another guy. Boy, y'all giving these men leadership. All right, let's go over here to Group A. Who's the leader? That's what we said. When the women outnumbers you, you don't stand a chance. Just kidding. But anyway, that's good. So you know who these people are. Now, captains, you know like Joshua, that he had different captains, right? And they had different groups of people, right? And those walls start what? Tumbling down. And that's exactly what we're going to do. The promised land is here on earth, right? That's what the promised land was all about back then, right? They're looking at prosperity. No more, no less. Now, with that in mind, Group A, Group B, Group C, we're getting ready. Captain, I'm going to get ready to write this down, captains. Very important. We're getting ready to write a little proposal, and we're getting ready to complete it in 5 minutes. And we're going to have the mayor of the city who just walked out. No, they're the mayor over there. You're going to have to go by the mayor's office, and the mayor must approve your proposal. Now, let me give you the whole story. So you have to listen, as one person said. They said, finish this test 1 through 12, but read each question first. The person filled out the first one, filled out the second, the third one, the fifth one, the sixth one, the seventh one, and the eighth one, and the 12th one said, if you have completed number 1, need not to go any further. So again, that's why it's important to listen to instruction. Sometimes you'll be just wasting your time. So all the rest, which should not have been filled out, he went any old way. So again, you slow it up a little bit, listen to it step by step, then you'll find out that's the way that the agencies, the way they're going to be dealing with you. I'm trying to make it realistic to a certain extent. Now, Group A, your captain. Group B, your captain. Group C, your captain. Let's write this down. 1, I want you to write a proposal as a group. 1 sentence. What is homelessness? Everybody got that? A, B, and C. As soon as I finish, you all going to have that opportunity to write that. Number 2, right? Number 2. Go down a little bit further. You need a signature from the mayor of the city. Here's your mayor over here. After you write that 1 paragraph or 1 sentence, what is homelessness? Whatever you think. Then we have an appraisal. He's not here, but he'll be sitting over there in that chair in a few minutes, and maybe end up being Dennis. You must be number 3. 1, proposal, 1 sentence. 2, the mayor got to sign off on it. And 3 is that you got to go to the appraisal. This grant is for $25,000. You have to go to the appraisal and put a figure down, write 2 little lines for number 3. Put the appraisal, put a line, and another line. 1 line is the applicant, how much you are asking for. Is it 25, 30,000, whatever it may be. You put that figure there. Call that A. B, leave it open. Call it the appraisal. The appraiser must put down how much he would do the job for. Again, let's go over it one more time. The total amount of the grant is how much, ladies and gentlemen?
25,000.
Number 1, I asked you to do what?
Number 1.
Write a proposal. How long?
1 sentence.
1 sentence.
What homeless?
What is homelessness? Number 2,
Go to the mayor.
where's the mayor?
He's over in the corner.
See, that's good. When you get ready to write a proposal, you got to know where all these parts are, okay? And the last thing, you got to do what?
For the 3, go get a appraisal.
Go and get an appraisal. Where's the appraisal located?
The appraisal is over.
Okay. And first, you're going to put your amount in A, which may be 25,000, 50,000, whatever you're going to put down, okay? And then you're going to leave that other block ready for Dennis, who's going to be the appraisal, and he's going to put in there how much you'll do this job for. Everybody got that? All right, Captain, let's get busy. You got 5 minutes to do it all. Ladies and gentlemen, when you're writing a proposal, there is a time. They tell you on June 1st at 5 p.m. You must make it at 5 p.m. I don't care how much work you put in. You cannot con them. They have a clock. They'll clock it in. So you have to give it, put it in. A, did you write your proposal?
Yes.
A, tell us about your proposal. What did you say?
Homelessness is a state of having no home.
Give him a hand, a wonderful proposal. All right. She copy off of me, that's all right. But B,
Our deal was no shelter, poor living conditions with limited food and clothing.
fantastic, it's deep. I love it, okay? C,
Individuals without any substantial.
one of the best writers in the world. Love it. Going to the mayor, what did the mayor says?
The mayor didn't say anything. He was just reading. So
Disqualified. Okay, B. It's just that simple. They told you to go to the what? The mayor. That's one of their requirements. They have the requirement and you have the what? Capability. Capability means I can do it. Requirement, what do you want? And that means an application. All right, group, all you wrote beautiful proposals. You're excellent writers. There's more to it. What happened there?
We didn't make it to the mayor in time,
All these
so we just
Asian, American, black folks, and white folks, they always slow. And Orientals, okay? I put them all in there,
The
okay?
paper was blocking us.
Okay. We always got an excuse. Okay. This is what I'm trying to say. I got a point to it. I got a point to it. I got a point to it.
We should have went to the print.
We're going to make some sense out of this. We're trying to get you over it, so we want to make sure that you understand what's going on. C, went to the mayor?
Yes.
And what did the mayor do?
Signed off.
That's his cousin on his outside, okay?
That's right.
They voted for Trump and they did too, okay? There's politics involved in it. It's not what you know, it's not who you know, but who knows you. It ain't like these radical black folks over there. Be like the Rockefeller, be Republican and Democrat. Get out of that one-sided thing. It's all a game. The Democrat's just as crooked as the Republican, and the Republican just as crooked as the Democrat. It's all about money and games. Everyone in the United States Senate are millionaires, okay? At least the majority of them. You don't become in that position, and all of them got in because of multi-million-dollar budgets. They raise funds. Poor folks don't get there. The ones that are running the country are rich folks. Get that straight in your mind. They raise millions of dollars to win these congressional seats. They raise millions of dollars to become U.S. senators, 10, 15 million dollars or more, or hundreds of millions for president. It's all about money. Well, they for the poor folk. They're for rich folks. They are rich. Association bring about assimilation. So get around it then, okay? So the bottom line then, you know how to get there. So they are in good shape, right? You two was just off, just totally off. You went to the appraisal. How did that go?
Gave us 50,000.
Give them 50,000. Give them a hand if you don't mind. And how much was the grant again? They just missed out. They got too greedy over this guy because they said the max was what? 25. How the world are going to pay the other 25? Why would I give you some money that you can't figure that one out? So you got denied. So if they tell you 25,000, stay within that range, or don't go over it. You got it? If it's 25, put down what? 25, or 15, or 10. Don't try to go and you think he did you a favor. This guy over here, he was a millionaire and want more money and think that he's going to get more money out of you. Find somebody that is reasonably priced. So with that, all of you got disapproved. So you learn two lessons. Number one, don't be greedy. And number two, get to know somebody. Go to these marriage parties and all this thing, shake hand and grin and all that other stuff. You don't have to kiss the babies. But still yet you can do that. And remember when you shake hands, if you're going to wear a tag, it got to be on this side. Anyone know why it's on this side instead of over here that most people wear there? You know why? Shake hand with the person in front of you. Your right hand is shooting them straight in the face and they can look at that name tag. So always remember that, okay? Little trick to the trade. Now I hope y'all got a little bit of something on. Anybody can write a grant. What I said, you change what? Heads and keep the body what? The same. So if one good grant, if it work in Idaho, if it work in Minnesota, if it work in Georgia, it'll work wherever. If it works, it works. You don't have to be so creative. So anybody can write a proposal. And we're going to get to that point and you're going to find out. And we're going to show you how to add and what? Delete. Let's go to the next part, okay? With that, give yourself a hand, and that's good, and your captain as well. Remember, the most important thing is what? Time. And what? Relationship. Did you two get that? Time and what? Relationship. And I'm going to give you 3 times. Time, timely, and you got to be on time. Timing, based on time, and being timely. All right, let's go to this back up here again. Your assignment, captains, A, B, and C. You can disseminate. You can change rules. You can do whatever you want. You all have 30 days. You see that? 30 days. Some of you get approved during this process. Anyone in your group got a 501c3? Use it. Use your name, because you probably will get funded. Use it. Just follow the instructions. Yes, ma'am.
I might be a little slow, forgive me, but are we doing this as a benefit for the class? Or are you talking in 30 days we're going to get back together for real?
No. You're going to do it in the process. You're going to be getting together in 30 days together. Meaning by phone, by whatever means, delegation of responsibility, because there's more than one way to skin a what? A cat, all right? So I'm trying to show you that you have to have collaboration, because in the future, you may need me. I'm here in Alabama, I may be in Georgia, but I can work with you over in Georgia. So if you're working across the line, do that. Because some are going to say, are you a national organization? Yes, I am, because you're in more than one state. You got that? As long as you're not more than one state. Like for all of you to have a little office here and pay nothing or whatever, you have a headquarters where you can say you have a location. In real estate, the ones that are in real estate, you know what we said? The number one is location, 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 and understanding what? Banker. So instead of a banker, an understanding person that want to fund your program, okay? So let's go to the next thing. Group A, B, and C. 30-day group project. You heard that? It's not you by yourself. Because Jesus said, our Father, which art in heaven, give us this day everything about more than just you by yourself. Selfishness, get it out of the way. Learn to work together as a part of the body of what? Christ. We got different parts. I want you to pull publication 557. Why do I want you to do that? That's the Bible for a nonprofit corporation, so you know the do's and the don't. You can look it up at irs.gov. Everybody get this down. And put it search and put in publication 557. The one that you want is edition January 2007. We're going to go back over that publication as well. But I want to make sure you know it. It will make it very clear that churches are not eligible. Churches are automatically tax exempt on the First Amendment of the United States Constitution, which says Congress shall make no law to establish religion or the free exercise thereof. So we're not talking about a church. We're going to talk about your separate, what I said before, public charity or public benefit corporation. Not religious benefit, but the public. Like New Hope Baptist Church is the religious one, and New Hope Community Development Center is the what? Public benefit or public charity. Everybody got that? The church is going to receive about 2%, those religious type grant, but the public benefit will receive approximately 100%. Everybody got that? All right. Next thing. Remember, on your phone, all this is on your iPhone or your whatever kind of phone you may have. So you can follow me with that. It's the same old, same old. The next is that I want you to get application SS4. We want to show you how you get your Social Security number or your federal employer identification number. Never use your Social Security number with your nonprofit. It has the number, which is the EIN. That is not your tax exempt organism. That is not the letter of determination. It is no more than an identification number that says similar to a Social Security number. Next, I want you to get application 1023. You will have a notebook that is for me, and you all share as well. Meaning, all of you need to have separate notebooks, but you can assign captain, different person. Hey, I would like for you to go and pull 1023. I would like for you to go and pull SS4. I would like for, that's called a group effort. You got that? Like even that exercise, ma'am, one should I went to the appraiser, one should went to the mayor. Okay? Instead of everybody trying to go to the same place at the same time. And I'm going to give you this, ma'am, and I think you heard it before. I'm going to leave it this way with all of you. Remember I told y'all, how many of you heard my little thing about the rhinos and the cows? Raise your hand. I don't want to repeat that. Oh, man, the majority. Okay, no, not the majority. You didn't hear it? I'm going to do it just for her and him. And she said, yeah, I heard it. I don't want to hear that again.
I just want to hear it.
Okay, thank you. I'll do it that way. Well, remember, you want to hang out with rhinos. All of y'all are rhinos because you want to do something. The cows always go in the what? The wrong direction. So you got a herd. Now, all of y'all stand over there, please, okay? Let's say there's a group of cows. They're going the wrong way. And, sir, y'all aim at the wall. They're going the wrong way. Just going into a brick wall, okay? This group here, stand, if you don't mind. They're going somewhere and they're going in the right direction. These are your rhinos, and those the cows. They're always going the wrong way, okay? All right, not personally. Okay, have a seat. So you want to get around what? You can have a seat. Thank you very much. Rhinos. Now, the definition of that is very plain. It sounds like a comical thing, but it's true. The rhino got sick and was in intensive care in bad condition, had an oxygen mask over his face, and had a tracheostomy and IVs going in his vein. He had a Foley in the urinary meatus and traction. Bad shape. Here comes the cow. The cow walks into the room, happy to see his friend. And the rhino was happy to see the cow. But the cow walked over to the rhino bed. And the rhino couldn't talk, so he frantically wrote a note. And the cow picked up the note, and the rhino died. So he put the note in his pocket. 4 days later, they buried the rhino. The rhino, while lying there, the cow reminded himself and thought of it. He said, look, I remember that note. He pulled out the notes, and he read the note. And ma'am, not others, ma'am, what you think that note said? You're standing on my oxygen tube. So you cannot afford to have one rhino, a cow around you, because they're going to cut off your what? Oxygen. Because the cows are always going what? The wrong way. So you want to hang out with what? The rhinos. So how many of you are rhinos? Raise your hand. All right, that's right. So you better raise your hand. But
Hey, that's why we're going that way. That's do what she told me.
all right, and I like that. The same thing for most guys. You say the guys always got it all right, right? So the one thing you heard the old saying said, "I have the last word in everything." They said, "What is it?" "Yes, dear." So again, and that's the way it works, really. Okay, if you want to stay married. So anyway, next point. I'm trying to get us back on target. We want to make sure that we stay focused. We want to make sure that we know the rules and we know the regulation. So we want to know the 557. That's why I asked you to do that, and we're going to go over that in our last class. SS4 form, and we have the 1023. If you didn't get it, we have a class that you come in and you're free of charge for them. You can come back all you want. One guy in Chicago came 6 months. By George, I got it now. So again, we're going to keep on until you get it, all right? That's why we're here. Next, I want you to go to the public library. Some look on the internet, that's all right. I want you to look and find the following information. I want the name of the agencies. I want the address, contact person, phone number, type of grant, and range of grant. This general information is what you need to know before you go out writing proposals. You need to know what agency you should identify and whether or not they have anything that you need. So I'm going to teach you that part first. Again, number 2, captains, you fully understand that. If you have any problem, talk to your captain. And then the captain, you got a problem, just give me a phone call, all right? Everyone has that? That's number 2. Number 3, as a part of number 2, I want you to contact 50 what? Foundation. You have what we call in Georgia and Alabama. Georgia, I want you to pull 50 foundation from Georgia. Alabama, 50 foundation from what? Alabama. If you're in Georgia, Alabama group and you're together, you're going to get what? 50 of each? Now, let me break it down. 25 of each, all right? Is that fair enough? Just split it in half, all right? If you're from Alabama and you're from Georgia, just get 25 from Georgia and 25 from what? Alabama, okay. 25 governmental agents like HUD, so forth, so on. Everybody got that?
I'm born in Alabama.
Okay. If you got a mixed group, you automatically know it's 25. How does that sound, okay? 25 corporations like Walmart, many other companies like that, they all give you money. So you need to know where the money's found. Let's go to the next page. Bishop. Next page. Next page, instruction. We want you to get 100 envelopes, make up 100 letters on your stationery. If you got a 501c3, my military friend, use your corporation. If you got a 501c3, use yours. If you got one, use yours. Make up your own stationery because we're going to use it as a live example. We're going to have you to put together a letter that you're going to send out to these people. Now we said you need 100 envelopes. Where did we get that from? Because we said 50, whatever that other thing, 25, that's 100, right? You're going to address it because you're going to know the people's names and address, so you're going to put their names on there, okay? And you're going to do it in that manner. You're going to send it off, and we're going to show you a letter that you need to put together. You can reformulate it, but have the general gist in it. Everybody see this here? Let's go to the next page. The next page is the letter we want you to put together. To whom it may what? Concern. Whom it may concern. What we want you to do is allow me to introduce you to our organization, whatever that company name is, okay? You can use your own fancy language if you want to, all right? Don't worry, it's on your cell phone. All you have to do is just look at your celly. You're going to set out your PDI or one pending. You're going to go further and tell them what program you specialize in. But guess what? You have pulled those agencies. If they don't deal with anything with elderly care, don't put that in there, okay? If they say youth service, if they say computer literacy, you put those things down. So when you pull those 50 agencies, they're going to tell you what they offer. So if they don't offer it, don't send it to them. So some may have said we only deal with homeless program. Some may say we only deal with veteran program. So you don't have an interest in that. So you pass that up and go to something else. All right. You're always going to ask them, you're requesting their RFP. You know what RFP means? Request for what? Proposal, right? So they're going to send you their application. That's all that means. The next thing, you're going to always tell them to put you on their mailing list because you can't be writing those folks every day. They will always, every time something comes up, they will constantly keep you informed. And so all you have to do is submit those applications when their deadlines come up, the dates of announcement. They're going to say June to July is open, then it's closed. So you need to know all that stuff. They will do this for you. You're going to find it's going to be elementary once you get started with it. Remember, you're going to give them your email, and also you're going to make sure you tell them to put you on that mailing list. Now, let me write you back and say we don't have anything at this time. But in the future, you want to make sure when something pops up, they will contact you. All right. With that, we're going to stop at that point there. And we went back over this part here. We told you what to do with it. You're going to send out to the agency. And what they're going to do, they're going to send you back an application. Let's go to the next page, if you don't mind. So you're going to come back, our last class, after we finish the 30 days, you're going to come back with what we call assignment review. Everything I asked you to do, bring it in. 557, 1023, SS4 form. And that's your group grade that you get. You're going to send all this stuff out. Tell me what agency you sent them to. Let's keep going. Most common question on your iPhone, I want you to become familiar with this. It's just general knowledge. Flip over. Next. These are some of the things. It's 29 instead of 28 now. Read this over in your leisure time. It's going to be good for you. Keep going. As we said, there are three types of nonprofit organization: religious, mutual, and what? Public benefit. We said a corporation, we told you what it is, a legal entity, a person that is authorized to transact what? Business. It can sue and it can file what? Bankruptcy. Let's go to the next. We said what are board of directors, and I want you to just review this for just general knowledge. The board of directors are what? The policymaker. I would like for you to pay attention to this, and in less than 5 minutes, you're going to have a pre-quiz, okay? So I want to make sure that you're ready, and as a group, you can fill this pre-quiz exam out. You ready? Next, what are grants? 501c3. This is what it means. It's on your iPhone. Just look at it and make sure that you be familiar with that 501c3 means that you receive what? You mean no taxes. You can receive what? Contribution and grants. And you're exempt from all those other things. Next, what are grants? No more than what? Free money. How many dollars are available? Trillions of dollars. President Obama, now you got Trump, okay? Let's go to the next. All this is just general information for your knowledge. The average income of a CEO is $200,000 for a nonprofit because you're going after grants, and we're going to show you how to put your salary within the what? The grant. Everybody got that? Let's go to the next. Now, on the next page, at this time, we have a pre-quiz. Get started. We have 3 minutes to do this. 3 minutes to take 1, 2, 3, 4. Just put the alphabets.
Are we gonna turn this into you?
No, it's just something that we're going to go through right quick. I'm going to ask A, B, and see, do you have the answers? All right, let's do it this way, ladies, just to save time, and gentlemen. Group A, what is the answer to number 1?
Number one.
What is a
B.
corporation? That's what it said.
B is person or legal entity. Right?
Okay, B said, he said B. Y'all said B? You sure it's B? Okay, she said B, he said B, somebody said C. Which one? You got to be precise. Take a minute. A, B, and C. Tell me which one. Look on your iPhone. Same thing on your iPhone too. So I want to make sure that all of you get that. I'm going to call you out in 1 minute, but I want to make sure it's A, B, or C. Think about it, B. Y'all can talk to each other. C, you can talk to each other. All right, time out. Now, listen to this. B, this group B, get ready for this answer here. C, get ready for the next one. Back to A, we're going back and forth. Now, A, what is the answer to number 1? What is a corporation? She said a personal legal. I don't know about that. What do you think about that, B? Okay, what do you think about that, gentleman over here? Okay, everybody said B. Flip it again. Let's see what happens. Let's see. There it goes. Look at that. It is B. Did y'all see that? That's fancy, isn't it? So anyway, it is a what? It's B. A person or what? Legal entity. We said it's an artificial person or a what? Legal entity. Is that right? All right, good. Now, number 2. Let's go to number 2. Group B.
How many types of nonprofit?
C, 3.
All right, A. They said 3. Is it 2 or 1? For the answer for number 2, which one is it?
Oh, it's 2.
Group A, which one is
How
it?
many types of nonprofits?
Well, we're going to give Group B again. How many?
Okay, on the property.
Group B? Okay, they said 2. How many? Well, if you said 3, what are they? Religious is 1. Okay, now everybody wrong, so I'm going to give y'all the right one, okay? It's 3 types. It's just that simple, all right? Remember, there's a religious corporation that's nonprofit. There's a mutual benefit that is nonprofit. And there's a what? Public benefit. So you didn't know all this because it's back in the questions and the answer, okay? So that's why I want y'all to go back to the question. I know you were right. I was just messing with you. So it was 3. It's religious, mutual, and what? Public benefit. So the one you want is what? Public benefit, or called public charity. Everybody got that? All right, good. Let's go. Number 2, you said there are 3 types. We got that. All right, let's go over to number 3. Y'all too quiet over there. What are 501c3 and grants? 1, a tax number from IRS, a letter of determination from IRS, and money you never pay back. Which one? A? C. All right. B, you agree with that? Yes. All right, that's true. Let's see. That is right. Because number 1, the 501c3, I want y'all to get just to the word is what? A letter of what? Determination. And grants is what? Money you never pay back. All right, don't tell me, Dr. Paul, what is the interest rate on that grant? No interest on it. It's free money. Okay? You go to college, you want a grant or you want a loan? You got kids in school? Which one? You want some grants, right? All right, number 1, back to you again. In 95% of all cases, okay, that's all right. Now, I already told you, 95% of all cases, Can your organization receive grants, contribution, and tax exempt with a 501c3 public benefit? The answer is what? Yes. Because with a religious one, they only get what? 2%. But with your public benefit, you can get 30%, 80%, 100%. You can get all the grants with what? The public what? Benefit or public charity. That's the word. All right? Let's go to the next. Next page is then B. That's you.
Where's no? We say no.
They said no. Why you say no? Why churches don't pay no taxes?
Because we're under God.
Religion.
Come again?
You're exempt.
And I'm
All right, both of you, you're under God and plus you're exempt. Okay?
What about the determination of that letter?
Come again?
501c3.
I would advise you very strongly never take a church to the Internal Revenue Service. The reason why I write this down because that's why I want you to do publication 557. Please write this down. See page 9, page 10, page 23, page 28 of Internal Revenue Service publication, which you're going to be looking at, 557. It tells you church don't do anything. Tell churches don't fill out no forms. Tell you don't deal with that. And you said religious, and what it says, Congress shall make no law to establish what? Religion or the free exercise thereof. Religion is all religious organization. So there is no law for religion. When you fill out that 1023 application, ladies and gentlemen, when you fill out the 1023, the instruction sheet says on page 1, you do not have to fill it out if you're a church. Instruction sheet for 1023, put that on your agenda too. Put the instruction sheet for 1023. Most of you with the churches, you need to tell your church, we've been misled. There was no law, there was no reason why we should have filled out anything to become and identify as a church and tax exempt. The IRS say you're automatically tax exempt, okay? So make sure you go back and tell your pastors, CPAs, and the next time bring them here. We'll be happy to tell them again. And the next time, we're going to try to have our IRS agent here to talk to you and give you the right information. I normally do that. I have done it a few times, where you have accurate information instead of hearsay and they say, okay? All right, let's go to the next. Let's make sure. Does churches pay tax? And the answer is what? No. You report to God, as you said. Next.
B.
Okay, everybody know that's no. What is a proposal? Group C, B. Absolutely correct. Let's hit that again. A proposal is a short description of your organization. You don't get funded for Young Community Development Center. You get funded for your after-school program, your substance abuse program, your literacy program. So then you're going to talk about a detailed description. We're going to learn about goals, objective, methodology, desired results. You're going to learn all that. But that's when you write up about your what? Program. So you can have many programs with one corporation. Everybody got that? All right. Everybody got that. Now, what are articles of incorporation? That's a difficult one. I'm going to throw back at number 1. I want to take that back to number 1. Okay, what is it? They said, he went a little bit fast, but it's B. It is a legal document because you file it with who? The Secretary of what state? So anytime you want to change the article, you must go back to the Secretary of State and do an article of amendment. Everybody got that? So that's why I put in there your program consists of, but not limited to. So you can do everything. All right? So you never have to change it. Everybody got that? Now, what are bylaws? You know about the bylaws. The Word of God is what? Bylaws. Yes, sir. Let me let you do that.
I'd say C.
Okay, he says C. All right. Over there, C. What do you say? What are bylaws? Somebody said B. Now, what is the answer? C. Group 1 going to give me the right answer. It is what?
C.
It is C. Bylaws are policy and what? Procedure. The Word of God are what? Policy and procedure. Don't let your pastor ever tell you we're going to go by Robert Rules of Order. That is not God's Rules of Order. Rules of Order is the Holy Scripture. And the United States Constitution came out of the Old Testament. All right? So it's God's law. That's why they have In God We Trust. So they have policy that a man wrote up by the name of Robert. That got Robert's Rules of Order. That's man doing. And if you're a church, you better do it God's way. So again, tell your church, Robert's Rules of Order does not apply. It is based on spirituality and what the Word of God says. That's your policy and your procedure. Is that correct? All right, just common sense there. Okay. Next is phraseology, terminology, and acronyms. Let's go to the next. Group 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's on your cell phone, same thing. We want you to, keep flipping. We want you to define these words. I think you said. Well, let's go through this here. We want to make sure that you know what is a proposal. Don't worry, we're going back over it again. This is just general gunshot approach. It is a short description of the organization and a detailed description of the what? Program or project. You can call it a program or you can call it a project, whatever you want to call it. A daycare project or daycare program. It's up to you. You're going to learn more about programs. They are name or short descriptive title. Statement of purpose. Let's flip on down. They are the reason why you designed this program. Don't worry, we're going to give you more examples, but just keeping it simple. Goals is to provide, when I was in the government as a planner, your end results. Let's give you an example. To provide housing is your goals. Let's go to the next one. And your objectives are short and long-term goals is to provide temporary housing is short-term, and to provide permanent housing is what? Long-term. Go to the next. Methodology. Shorten it is no more than the method. It's how I'm going to do it. It's the how-to. Evaluation, something that is what? Measurable. If you're in school, it's your grades, right? In daycare, maybe attendance. What is measurable to show you your success? I asked Mrs. Smith, I gave her this opportunity to set up the United Education Evening Enrichment Program 3 weeks ago. Well, is this program successful? I want to ask you the question. In the first week, she had 30 kids. Next week, she had 40 kids. What I'm basing the evaluation on? Numbers. Is that successful for you? Then if they're paying $100 a week, and you put that together, $4,000 or $5,000 a week, that tells me $20,000 a month. I think that's successful. Okay? So that's called evaluation. We want all of y'all to take advantage of this here. I set up this program back in 1976 called the United Educational Evening Enrichment Program, which is an after-school program. And it caught on nationally. We got a lot of national attention out of University of Minnesota to help the mothers go back to school, where we offer a quality, not a daycare, babysitting, but an educational program. So we help them with their homework, we help them with everything else. While mom and dad is working at the factory at night or whatever it may be, we're still working with the kids. So all of you can do that. That's a beautiful program, and it caught on in Minnesota, and they took the program all over the United States. And here's the original certificate here. So we did quite well with that, and it caught on all over America. That's one of the programs that we pushed. We're going to have you go over acronyms. I want all of you. Group A, B, C, and D. I told you got a lot of work to do, okay? I want answers to each and every one of these. You want to know? I want to know what HHS. Well, I want some money. I want some substance abuse. I know they got $200,000. What is the name of the Health and Human Services? So they say, well, over at DOD and DHR, and we have another with mental health. MHMRSA. So when you come back, and we're going to talk about the CDBG, what in the world is these things? You need to look them up and find out. Yes, ma'am. Question?
DOL could be more than one, right?
Department of Labor. I just give you all that. That's on the state and federal department.
I was thinking Department of Logistics, and that's not.
Well, none of those are divisions of programs, but when we're talking about the department, like Department of Health and Department of Labor and logistics and all that is just sectioned in different areas within. It's not a department per se. This is one of the units underneath. But the major agency, maybe 20 or 30 agency, and within you got many different things. Policy and planning, logistics, coordination, task force. You got all kinds of stuff inside. But you want to know the overall banner. When you know that, you can look inside of it and find out everything that you need to know about that agency. Everybody got that? Here's your definition, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to look those things up. DOE could be education or energy. If you say, I don't know which one, write them both. Okay? So that way you'll be familiar with them. So someone say, well, over at DOE, we have approximately $90,000 available to you. Is it energy or is it education? Oh, it's education. So they know you know what you're talking about, okay? Let's go to the next page. We already talked about articles, bylaws, and letter determination. Those are 3 things we're going to need before we write any grant. Now, we're going to throw a lot at you at this point, then we're going to come back and make it simple. Pretty much a 501, articles of incorporation look just like that, okay? Let's go to the next. Of course, you're going to have your board of directors and et cetera. Let's go to the next. Then you're going to have bylaws. Bylaws starts off with what the word called bylaws. Articles start off with what the word called articles, not your 501c3. Next page. Next page is a letter determination. That comes from IRS. As I stated, you reserve the name, you do the articles, bylaws, EIN, do the 1023, submit it to IRS with $850. Then IRS will send you back an acknowledgement letter. Then on top of that, then they will issue a letter determination, which is perpetual. It lasts forever and ever for 1,000,000 years, okay? And you want to keep it like $1 billion in your pocket if you know how to use it, okay? Let's go to the next. Now, we get ready to write a proposal, and this is what I want y'all to do. It's going to be real simple, real simple. 1, when we write a proposal, and I'm not going to have you do it this time. I want you to finish that assignment first. But you need to review this. You're going to have a cover letter anytime you write a proposal. Tell them about what you want and what you need. Short, simple, and to the point. Next. We're going to have you to go through, let's go to the next page, okay? We're going to have you to write a proposal. I want each one of you, this is an assignment. You ready? A, B, and C. And I'll come back and summarize your assignment. You're going to look on page 27 and start writing this proposal. Ladies and gentlemen, you add and you delete. That's all I want you to do. Add and delete. I don't care if it's youth at high risk, senior citizen. I guarantee you it works. Then I tell you just change the head and you keep the body the same. And I also said, when I was in high school, I copy off the girl paper every day, everything, including her name. Kathleen Grant. But still yet, I don't want you to copy people's names. Every grant out there has the Freedom of Information Act. Every agency can give you a grant that was approved last year. That's why I said it ain't no big deal. So I can't read your mind and you can't read mine. So you want to know what they think and how they want you to put it together. So you can get an application from them and also get a grant that was approved, 3 or 4. And you write the same thing and add and what? Delete to fit your personality. Everybody got that? I'm going to teach you this. You're going to be the best grant writer in the world. And that's the way we function. You add and you what? Delete. Now, in this particular case, instead of PDI is whatever company you got. And you go in there and start manipulating the words to know what you want. Everything in there is what you want, but change it to fit your personality. I was at the University of Minnesota, and I told you I got my first A at Boise State. My colleagues, these soldier guys, I volunteered for the Vietnam War. They thought I was crazy, but I had no other place to go. So when I got in there, they put me in proficiency to learn how to read. I didn't know how to read, so I had to memorize. So when I got on active duty to really go in there and participate, they ended the war. Praise God. You take care of his fools. So I came up with some ideas and solved some problems, gained national attention again. I started the thing to get rid of racial tension. Ladies, don't take it the wrong way. I'm at Mountain Home Air Force Base. We have any Air Force guys in here? I was at Mountain Home Air Force Base, the worst place in the what? World back in the 60s or 70s. Paradolls and jackrabbits and no women, no women, no women, okay? So all you're going to do is fight, fight, fight. You work during the weekdays, then at the end, you got these guys from the southern states and everything else, you got problems. And you're going to show out. They had cannons and so forth to try to stop Mountain Home Air Force Base, Idaho. Snakes and everything else out there. I stayed in the barracks. I'm from the South. F-111 all night long. It had 2 or 3 WAPs, which I don't know, WAPs, what do we call it? Number 7203, you know what that is? What they call it with the women, but anything, you know. The thing is your titles, that's all that is, okay? And they call you, I ain't gonna use that word. No, we can't do that in here. So anyway, that's as bad as this. I'm gonna say that. We had a song. Do y'all remember this, or did y'all do it in basic training? You went to Lackland, out of here, Lackland. No, like, ain't no sense in going home. Jody got your gallon gone. Sound off, 1, 2, 3, 4. And Jody truly had that gallon gone. So, and we had a crazy one. Ain't no sense in going home. No, not that one. It said, if I die in Vietnam, send my body home in tomorrow, and my cast where I reside, grounded to the inspection side. The military guys got it. Everything had to be grounded to the what? Inspection side. So, you know, we all been there. So anyway, it was crazy to keep your mind off that. Then they told me one day I was just a number. I'm just a number. I thought I had some rights because what Martin Luther King them was doing. You is nothing but a what? A number. 255-861213. Okay, I keep those numbers in my head. I got there and I helped with Colonel Clark, if any of you know him. He ended up there as a general. I helped him, and what we did resolve racial tension. I came up with an idea, and that's sometimes you have to stand up to the people that with authority. And you know, as an airman, you can't do nothing, right? But if you think that way, that's where you are. I went in there, Colonel, I have an idea how to solve these problems. Relax, airman, relax. Yes, sir. The problem is that we are fighting because we don't have nothing else to do. So I went up to, how many nurses we have in here? I went up to Boise State, and there was a bunch of nurses up there, okay? Don't worry, ladies, don't get it the wrong way. So I knew that we just need to talk to somebody else than ourselves. Guys, talking to yourself ain't good, is it? So anyway, I made a little deal with them up there. I said, we'll feed you, give you some beer, let you have a good time, dance and have some music and everything else. And they were so excited. Excuse me. Tell small fonts like 9. Okay? You got to be needed to that, okay? So with that, I went on and I said, use your creativity. He gave me an opportunity. And that's all you need in life is what? An opportunity. So I put it into action. I got the white group called the moving company, and the black group called TLC. One played for 1 hour, one played for the other to try to resolve racial tension. It was little simple stuff. Got the military bus and brought them all down there, all the women's and so forth. And don't worry, it was platonic and well protected with security. So we did that. That was not one fight. Because if you got a young lady you can talk to, instead of talking to that knucklehead you see, that person you with all week long. Is that right? It's a miserable feeling. What had happened, it changed the base, the tension went down. He allowed me as an airman to change the food, to change in the NCO club with the Airman Club, put in $5,000 in there to change the look. You know, we had all that old kitchen type thing. And he came in and had me to do what I want. And you know, it's impossible to be cross-trained in less than a month or 2. Is that true? So help me God 3 times. It's called favoritism. Down there at SIBO, y'all know what I'm talking about. All I know, Colonel said, Airman, I said, Colonel, you know, I like being in the hospital and I'd like to get back in that area. Go down to SIBO and they probably do something for you. I'm there. Only thing, I had one incident, a guy shot himself in the foot. You know, that's it. So it was not exciting, it was boring. So I said, Colonel, I need to be over at the recreation center because that's where I can plan things. Just go over to SIBO, they may work something out for you. It's worked. So it's not what you know, it's not who you know, but who knows what? You. Those lieutenants, light birds, they was pissed at me. They hated me. Because he always pat me on the shoulder. I'm going to use this last thing, which is good for you. I'm not scared. If you're scared, you ain't going nowhere. He told me this. I've got a group from Denver, a blizzard outside. My commander, she said, look, you are in trouble, buddy. You're going to spend over $10,000 of the United States government money to get this band in here. Man, I was scared. So he walked up to me, Aaron, how things going? I said, going good, but I'm having some problem. Miss Sterling said that she's going to give me, what y'all, D-fire article with all that stuff. And I said, he said, don't worry about it, Aaron. You've been doing a good job. So I said, yes, sir. As soon as I said that, here come that band. Boy, I was so happy I didn't know what to do. He put her on punishment, okay? Really pissed off, didn't you know? So after that, he got promoted to a general. They caught the program in all the bases now. They do that to reduce racial tension. I didn't know later on a lot of guys told me they're doing it everywhere. He got promoted to a general and went on to Thailand. I said, Colonel, I'm going to have some problems here. I said, all these folks around here, they hate me. And he said, well, Aaron, don't worry about that. You know about Palace Chase, right? It just came out. I wasn't eligible for it. He said, just go down to Seabolt. I think they got something for you. I went down there, they had my paperwork, I'm out. I'm not out of the military. You can take off the day if you want. Went up to Boise State, started playing football and getting a full pay. Then after that, kicked in you're supposed to have 180 days left, right? I had served about 180 days. But the bottom line, I couldn't stay there, okay?
Right.
So Palace chased me to continue your what? Education. So that's how I got into school, the back door. So Colonel Clark or General Clark, I really respect him. All I know, get around people that are influential. They always can pat people on the back and say, you know, you're doing a good job, and I guarantee you things will change. So again, get around some folks that are the city council people, get around people that are the county commissioner, get around some Republicans, get around some Democrats, get around some independent, get around with people who make decisions. I guarantee you, you will excel. Last point, add and what? Delete. Go to the next page. Brief organization description, that's what I'm talking about, okay? Let's go to the next page. This is a continuation of the brief. Things that you're going to talk about. Read this out for me, Jay, if you don't mind.
Project values and principles. We value the parents as the cornerstone of a successful and productive community. The proper growth and development of children within the family structure from prenatal.
I'll stop at that point. It sounds good, okay? Use those words, okay? Because half the time they're going to look at your proposal and throw it in the trash can and it sound good, they're going to approve it. And you have a relationship with them. I'm just showing you the real world. Let's go to the next. Then we're talking about goals and objectives. Read over that: to provide quality, free, or low-cost child care for our parents. That's all you need to say. Just use some of the words add and what? Delete. Don't try to be so fancy. Go to the next. Continuation, keep going. Methodology, the method. If you got a daycare center, right? Some of you do. Use exactly what I got here. Don't try to be so complicated. Why spend $5,000 or $6,000 or $10,000? Go and just do it, unless you don't want to do the work. Please come to us. So 8 to 5. These are the things that you do. Continue with that. The method, how are you going to do it? You see that? I want you to read it over. It's on your what? Church on the Road. Let's go to the next. Next. Eligibility. Tell them who's eligible. People within a 30-mile radius. I want you to review this. It's not difficult. Then go back and write your separate proposal and add and what? Delete. Add and what? Delete. You don't want to retype it, copy it, put it there, paste it, then come back and what? Put the right funks and add and delete. Don't make it complicated. You want to get it approved and get money to run your program. Is that what you're going after? Not how fancy you can write. I want results. Next. Desired results is your outcome. What you hope to achieve. If you don't have no achievement, people don't want to give you any money. But at least they know that you got a program, you got a name, you got a purpose, you got goals, objective, methodology, desired results, and you have what? A budget. Let's go to the next. You're going to have your staff. You're going to talk about who they are. You're going to give a projection of how much you think they're going to make. I just put some figures up there. Let's keep going. Keep going. So with that, I want you to look at that, and we're almost at the end. Keep going. And this is a budget of $210,000. This is a line item budget justification. Remember, today is trainee just taking y'all through a few things, okay? Keep going. Keep going. And that's just giving you an idea of how to put your budget together. Some of the things I want to keep them. Add and what? Delete. Now, grants are what? Opportunities. They are not what? Guaranteed. Good. Okay. As I bring this to a close for the day, let's go back over your review, captains. Make sure we get it right. I asked you to do 4 things. 4 things. I asked you to go online, look at your computer, whatever you want to do, look at Church on the Road, and go over to the grant portion, and that's your book. I asked you to look at part 1 You got your terminology, phraseology, and all that. I ask you to go to the next page until you get the 557, the 1023, because you need your reference points. It's already there in black and white. I ask you to go to the public library or go online and pull those agencies. When we said 50, 25, 25, right? I ask you to get envelopes, 100 of them, because 25, 25, and 50 is what? 100. I ask you, once you get the information on the name of the person, the agency, the type of grants, pick out the ones you want, and then put that person's name on there. People like the name being called. And they think you know what you're doing. Then I also ask you to put that in a cover letter or letter. And you're going to send it to what? That agency. And in return, that agency is going to send you back a RFP. Everybody know what that? Request for proposal, no more than an application. Always said, do you have any RFPs? And they said, what is that? Well, some areas they call it a different word, but you know it's no more than an application. No more, no less. Then I ask you to do, assignment number 2, is do those acronyms. Write that down. Acronyms. You need to know that language. Like in Minnesota, you say y'all, but in here you say yes. Okay? And you always say y'all, and then it's you all. So people speak different ways. In America, we speak with many dialects, not accent, dialects. Remember, people from other countries speak with accents. America, we speak with what? Dialects. All right. Next, I ask you just to review that cover letter, but I want you to write a what? A proposal. Add and what? Delete. Come up with whatever name you want. Add and delete. I ask you to go and look at the most common asked question is general information. And look over the rest of it is general information. What is 501c3? What is that or the articles? What is bylaw? So if somebody asks you for the 501c3, you give them bylaw. You know good and well you don't know what you're doing. Okay? And when you come to me and say, I got my tax number, show me the EIN number, man, I say, oh, you don't have one. I know this a tax number. It's a number, but it's an employer identification number, which is no more than Social Security number. I can get grants with that, but you need a letter of what? Determination. But I got one of them. Well, it's for the church. Well, I can get a grant with that, only 2% for religious purposes. Well, what kind of one do I need? Well, I need a public charity or public benefit. Well, what do you mean? Like New Hope Baptist Church and New Hope Community Development Center? Oh, you mean I need a separate one? Yes. But if you're a church, come to me. Let's get you an integrated auxiliary. If I get you that, you don't have to file anything and tell anybody about anything that you're doing. I just finished one. Integrated auxiliary. Look on those pages. What pages I asked you all to review? Anybody got them?
9, 10.
Oh, I love this. Most people, oh no. But anyway, that's right. Review those. Then for the church and religious group, you would know. Now today I shot a light at you, but when you get it all down, you're going to say, by George, I got it now. But what I want you to do is try. And when you try that, once you get those RFPs back, it's going to take a period of time for them to send it back to you. All right? But I want you to get familiar with what? Write this down, your city council person, or your alderman. There's money there for you like yesterday. And I'll help you get it. Now remind you, for this class purposes, you're going to deal with your captain. For individually, if you need to work with me and I need me to help you, I'll work with you, okay? But I want this group here to work together because the key is collaboration. Because you can't work with each other here, you can't work with them out there. Everybody got that? So, in conclusion, grants are what? Opportunities. But it's not a what? Guarantee. But it's more of a guarantee than getting a loan. Those opportunities is unlimited. But as we bring this to a close for today, I will touch base with on the 27th of May. We meet again, but if you are, we'll find out the majority. I know that's on a holiday there. We have a big meeting called Memorial Day, and then during the morning we have the grant writing class. It is the same time that we will have, that's that last little review that we have on the 27th. If it's not a good time, Captain, let me know. We'll do it the next week, which will be the next week. I think you're probably out of town, right?
Yeah, we got a big engagement for my dad's coming.
Well, we ain't going to mess with that one. All right, let's do it the next week. Somebody give me another date, which is the 27th. After the 27th. What is that? Somebody look it up for me.
The 3rd.
Pardon?
June 3rd.
June 3rd. Is that good for everyone? 'Cause I want to make sure we are productive.
Are we gonna meet here?
I will meet here. Then what I'll do in the future when I'm in Atlanta, we get enough folks in Atlanta, we'll do it in Atlanta. And I'll do the driving. It's not a good drive, I don't like it, but I do what I have to do. I tell you, I used to drive so much I got blood clots in both lungs. And that's not good.